Thank you so much. Welcome to yet another session of PQD Masterclass powered by the program quality team and the educam team. Uh, Today, we have a really, really great set of learning from an eminent person. So let me quickly introduce that person. Now, to introduce that person, uh, she's a founder of Preeti Leadership Academy. She envisions igniting minds and inspiring excellence on her journey through lives. Through her keynotes and storytelling, she weaves captivating tales that enchant and entertain. She's a popular leader, served as the past president of DET Toastmasters Club, earning accolades as a competent communicator and competent leader. Her competitive spirit shines through the national level victories, including the title of District Evaluation Champion in 2021 and second runner-up in the District Table Topics competition in 2022. She is adorned with multiple awards up to the district level, Triple Crown winner, international citations for her role as a club coach and club sponsor. Beyond podium, she's an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and wisdom. Proof of that are her recent global certifications in emotional intelligence and compassionate communications. With a full round of applause, we warmly welcome the speaker for today, distinguished Toastmaster Preeti Kothari. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster.
Hello.
Thank you.
कहाँ है आप?
I think there's someone who has to be muted.
आप?
Yeah. Good evening, District 92. Thank you, Pranav, for that warm introduction. It feels so nice to have it on my home platform, the District 92 platform. Thank you so much. Well, District 92, how are all of you doing? Great.
Doing good. Great.
Thank you so much.
Great.
So before I go ahead with the session, let me first thank all of you, because at 8 p.m. in the evening, all of you are here to witness this session, and that makes my heart so full. Also, before I move ahead, I want all of you to just for 30 seconds come on camera so that our PR team, the PQD team, gets a nice picture of all of us in the event. For 30 seconds, quickly, let's come on camera. All of you, Vinod, Caroline, all of you, I can see Muruga, I can see Mr. Raju, all of them on camera. If you all are on camera now, then we can do another thing. Let's all smile and do this. So we have a great picture for our district. Let's do this. And can we have our PR team take a good click of all of us? Let's wait for 30 seconds while some of them are still correcting their hair or making their shirts well, and then they're coming. So let's do this at the count of 3, 2, 1, and let's have a click. Thank you so much to our PR team for this click, and thank you everyone for coming on camera. Let me tell you, for a storyteller, for a speaker, dear Toastmasters, it's so difficult to talk to the black box. But it's so nice to talk to someone whose face I can see. For example, I can see Pranav, I can see Mr. Pirumatsa Raju. When I look at them, I can see their emotions. I can see Muruga Prasad, and I feel so nice talking to you. So I would request all of you that if it is convenient, it's not difficult, then please come on camera. Thank you so much. Now I want to ask all of you a very simple question. Just think of one speech that you can really remember. Just think of it. Now with a raise of hands, tell me if that speech had a story. So now let me tell you. If there is a speech that you remember and it had a story, let me tell you that stories are not always born. They can be engineered, they can be tailored. And today, I'm here in between all of you to share with you how a story can be engineered or tailored by sharing with you the 8 ancient elements of storytelling. They are brilliant elements. I've learned this while I have been on my journey as a storyteller, and I wish to share it with all of you. And I'll tell you one secret. These elements are not just used in stories. They can be used in evaluations, prepared speeches, even in table topics. And trust me, they make a huge difference. Before I share my screen and dive into the 8 elements of storytelling, I want to first tell all of you a story. When I tell you that story, and when you listen to the story and watch me, then please keep your Toastmasters hats aside for some time. Don't analyze, don't think of feedback. Just sit there on your couch and listen to the story like a little child. The title of the story is 60 Seconds. Am I audible? I think I lost my screen.
Yeah, you're audible.
The title of the story is 60 Seconds. It was 31st December, New Year's Eve. Extreme winters on one side, but bright sunlight on the other. The entire street had huge glass skyscrapers on both the sides. At one end of the street was a huge tree with yellow and green leaves which were shining bright in the sunlight, and the shadow of these trees was falling on the bonnets of clean black cars. Now wait. Think of any car in your mind and you would find it in the street. Black Mercedes, red Porsches, yellow taxis, all standing one behind the other in a queue because of the traffic. Horns were honking. People were restless as if they were rushing to reach somewhere. On that day, in one of the cars was Mr. David. Now, David is a young, tall, handsome gentleman with a square jaw, neatly combed hair. He was wearing a Rolex watch on his wrist. On this busy street of Manhattan in New York City, he was also stuck in traffic. Somehow, juggling through the traffic, he managed to reach office. Now, David was actually working for a stock company and had helped the company made huge profits in the past. His peers loved him because he was humble, kind, and very hardworking. Now, that day, David was in a rush. He wanted to just finish work and get back home. You know why? Because he had promised a candlelight dinner to the love of his life, his girlfriend. While he was sitting on the table and making plans of what to do, the phone on his desk rang. Tring, 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 tring. Hello, Mr. David. Janelia ma'am wants to meet you. Right now. Janelia was David's boss. A strong, powerful woman, very independent, whose eyes would always be on screens and numbers. She believed in results more than relationships. David moved from his desk, knocked Janelia's cabin, and got inside. Before even he could greet her, Janelia started, "Hey, what do you think of yourself, David? You made a 3 million loss for the company. You're useless, you're good for nothing." David was quiet, and Janelia went on and on and on. In the end, David told her, "Ma'am, do you forget the 6 million profit that I made for the company last month? Ha! I don't want to listen about the past. All I know is you're useless and good for nothing. Get the hell out of my office. Now David was angry. He just walked out of the office, shutting the door behind. He went to his place and he was angry, thoughts in his mind. Am I good for nothing? What does she think of herself? I've done so much for the company in the past. I don't think I should be staying here. In fact, I should kill her. Saying these words, as he was moving outside the office, the guards tried to stop him, but he wouldn't. His anger was at the highest and his steps the fastest. He walked out with a bag in his hand on the street in full anger. As he walked, he did not notice a beggar was sitting on the street at the edge, and he tripped over the beggar and fell on the street. On this busy street, a car comes from the other side and hit David hard and thud, thud. He falls on the road twice. Paramedics arrive. Sirens wailed. Doctors came and checked his pulse. His heart was beating, but slowly. Tuck, 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 tuck. 60 seconds, and David was dead. The man who survived the stock market, the competition, the ups and downs, lost his life to one uncontrolled emotion. Dear Toastmasters, anger doesn't need a weapon to kill someone. It's just one moment of control lost. Now, dear Toastmasters, this was a news in the New York Times. And I converted this into a story using 8 elements of storytelling. And that is what I'm going to teach you today. Are we all ready? With a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Dear District 92 friends of mine, let's make the session very interactive. Let's talk to each other. Let's come on screen, have smiling faces, and let's learn the 8 elements of storytelling. Any doubts, I'm here to clarify, and we can really become good storytellers after these 8 elements. So today in our journey, we are going to study the 8 wonders of storytelling. We will also learn how to create a new story. And then in the end, if we have time and Pranav gives us some time, then you're going to talk. The first element of storytelling is the setting. Now, what is a setting? The setting is the location of the place where the story is happening, the time, the day, the year maybe, the scenery, the weather around that place. Now, when you have a setting in your story, it builds the background for the story. For example, today when I spoke to you about skyscrapers, the green tree, the cars in the queue, did I not transport you from Bangalore and other places wherever you are to Manhattan? Didn't you visualize the street? That's what a good setting does. It builds the background of the story, sets the tone of the story. It also sets the pace and mood of the story. For example, if my story is happening on a beach with waves and you're sitting there on the couch under the sun, then the pace and the mood would be different. But if I'm giving you a setting of a prison, then probably your setting would be different. If it's a ghost story, then the setting would be absolutely different. So based on the setting, the tone of the story is set. I want you to visualize this picture for a few seconds and go back to the story that I said and think about the settings that I made. The next element of storytelling is the character. Now, who was the character in my story? Who was it? You can unmute and answer.
David.
Who were the characters?
David, Genelia.
David.
Yes.
Genelia.
There was one
His
more
boss.
character in the story.
His
The
boss.
boss. Genelia. Thank you so
Genelia.
much. Yeah. So, when you talk about the character, if you notice when I was talking about David as the character, I told you that he had a square jaw, he had neatly combed hair. I also spoke to you about he wearing a Rolex watch, which sometimes gives you a thought of, yes, he must be a financial wizard. Or I went ahead and spoke about Genelia, that she was an independent woman, so you could actually relate to who the character is. So when you talk about the character, you usually give the physical appearance of the character. You also talk about the attitude of the character. Now, when I told you that friends and peers loved David because he was honest, he was kind, I was actually telling you the attitude of David. And when you speak about the attitude of a character in a story, the audience also starts visualizing the character. If you notice, a lot of times when you watch movies, they would probably show a villain who's come in a Thar guard car, 10 Innovas behind. He has a gun and he's shooting it in the air. Now, that is the setting and the character that they're introducing the viewers to. So, the physical appearance, the attitude of the character, the thoughts that are there in the character's mind. Sometimes you're maybe not talking about the attitude, but the thoughts that are going on in the character's mind. And that way, the audience can visualize the character. So, once the setting is done, the character are done, I will take you to the third element, which is just a elaborate version of talking about your character and the settings. And this is my favorite. I love to do it in any of the stories that I say. That's called the vividity. Now, what is the vividity? Vividity is the colors, something that can ignite our senses, our emotions, the smell, all that is vividity. So the moment I was talking about the vivid description of the trees, the shadow falling on the trees, talking about small things like the Rolex watch, I was creating vividity in the story so that I can actually transport my audience to the story site. So in vividity, you are actually engaging the 5 senses of the audience. You're also transporting the audience to the place where you want them to go to. For example, let me talk about maybe the story in Mahabharata about the Chakravyuh, where Abhimanyu goes into the Chakravyuh and he's killed. Now, the moment I give you a setting of the boogles roaring, of dust in the air, of weeping cries of mothers, of dead bodies lying across, I am putting vividity into the story so that I can transport you to my story side. I do not want my audience to be sitting where they are. I want to take them into my story. So that's where vividity comes into picture. And it actually stimulates the real life situation of the story in the minds of the audience. So we spoke about settings, we spoke about character, we spoke about engaging the 5 senses through vividity. And then comes the 4th one, and that is called the conflict. Now, let me tell you, in a story, if there is no conflict, then there is no story. Now, you may ask, what is a conflict? Now, conflict is the challenges of maybe the hero of the story, could be anyone in the story. But the conflict or the challenge that the person has is the major part of the story or the reason why my audience is sitting down and listening to me. So when I talk about conflict, it is the struggle between the character and some force most of the cases, it's the hero and the challenges that the hero faces. What about, there can be two kinds of conflicts. One would be your internal conflict, or one could be the external conflict. Now, external conflict could be challenges like fear, challenges like losing something is an external conflict. Internal conflict is the conflict between you and your mind. Now, in the story, if you notice, what was the conflict? Let me ask the audience. What do you think was the conflict in today's story? Anyone can unmute yourself and tell me what was the conflict in today's story.
It's about okay. It's about a subordinate being fired by the boss
Okay,
due to underperformance or whatever it can be.
great. A huge round of applause. Anyone else? What do you think was the conflict?
The altercation between Genelia and David as to the loss of $3 million.
Great. So both of you were perfectly right. I'm so sorry. I'm not able to see the names of the people who are talking, but I would surely acknowledge you by saying that thank you for answering. So the conflict here was absolutely that a subordinate was put under pressure by the boss, or the
Would it
conflict
be
of, or
would
the
it be
conflict.
okay if I bring in one more conflict?
Yes,
A
yes, please,
conflict
please.
that you have imposed on the audience when you killed David in the story.
Great. So I will come to that. Who's this? Who's this? Can I get your name?
My name is Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. So I'll come back to you as to whether that is conflict or what it is in the elements of storytelling. But good you captured that particular place in the story. So conflict is basically a challenge that usually the hero faces. And in this story, at this time, it was Genelia and David having a conflict where David has actually lost the money or made a loss for the company. Now, this particular conflict always has to lead to the resolution or to the end of the story. So once there is a conflict in the story, what comes out is dialogue. Now this again is my personal story, personal favorite. Now imagine if I just narrate a story with a series of events that are happening, would it be interesting? But what if I'm telling you the story as if I'm sitting with you on a coffee table and discussing things? Now, the example that I can give is, I was talking to my friend Seema today, and I was talking to her about Reena. Don't judge me, but Seema is a very close friend of mine. And I told her, you know what, Seema? Today, I was not happy with the way Reena behaved. Reena told me I'm good for nothing. And then I told her, is it true? Do you really feel that? So the moment I narrated the dialogue that happened between me and Reena to Seema, Seema could actually visualize everything as if it was happening in front of her, isn't it? So dialogue delivery is an important aspect of storytelling. Now, in this particular story of ours, when Genelia said, "You have lost $3 million, you're useless, get the hell out of here." And when David said, "Ma'am, did you forget the $6 million that I made for the company?" Now, this dialogue delivery shows us the conversation between two characters. It also facilitates emotion. When I'm telling you about an emotion, you are actually connected to the story. Also, personalities come to life. You can clearly think that yes, Genelia was a strong lady who believed in results. And as I mentioned, David was calm, humble, and kind. So the tone in which I'm delivering the dialogue and the dialogue actually tells the audience about the personalities in the story. And that's why dialogue delivery is very, very important. If you go to Dhananjay's story, he has this beautiful dialogue between him and his mother in the story. And that's a very emotional moment for all of us. Also, if you notice, he describes his mother so well when you're talking about character. He says, do you have an emotional mother? You put all the emotional mothers together and you get my mother. So when he's talking about the character and you go and look at his dialogue, you become a part of the story. Now, dialogues can be between two people or three, what they are talking, but dialogues can also be unexpressed. For example, in a Toastmasters meeting, when your evaluator is evaluating your speech, tell me the truth. If he is sometimes giving you some feedback which you've not liked, the thought in your mind is, did I really do this? Or is it really important? Or maybe if you really want to take feedback, the thought in your mind is, yes, I messed it up. Could I actually do better? So dialogues can be delivered between two people, and they also can be unexpressed thoughts or emotions. Like when David said, I will teach her the lesson of her life. I'm going to kill her. So they were unexpressed thoughts or emotions, which are also dialogues of the story. Now, if you see, we finished the 5 ancient elements of storytelling. And now we move on to something that's not the element of the story, but I'm just taking you to an element through this, the climax. The climax of the story is the peak of the story. And the story is at the highest on top in terms of its emotion or... So here in the story, when he said, I'm going to kill her, it was at the peak of his anger and rage. And from the climax of your story, the story starts tipping down and start going to the resolution. And after the falling action, you go to your resolution. So here, he first went to the highest peak, that was his highest part of his anger, and he moves out and goes on the street and trips on the beggar. The story starts falling down. And from there comes the resolution or the end of the story. Now, the end of the story needn't be very happy or sad. I mean, that depends on your story. But the resolution is the end, or after the climax reaches the peak, it goes down and comes to the end where David dies. So to Joseph, right, who asked me the question, this particular part in the story where David dies is the resolution or almost the end of the story. After the resolution comes the moral. Now, as a storyteller, you've told the setting, you've spoken about the character, you've created vivid images, you also had dialogue delivery between your characters, you had a conflict without which there is no story, and then your story peaks high and it comes down and it comes to the end, that is the resolution, and then comes the moral of the story. Now, there are 2 ways that the moral of the story can be given. One is, it can be derived. I mean, as a storyteller, the moral of the story that I gave you was anger is your worst enemy. So please try to control your emotions. But messages can also be perceived. After the story, a couple of you, because I see I had a lot of creative answers from all of you. So maybe you would have perceived some other message from the story. So can I ask you what other messages or morals of the story can you derive from the story? Anyone can unmute yourself and tell me, is there some other moral that you feel the story can actually give?
Take it easy.
Wonderful. Take it easy. Wow. So much of a Gen Z answer.
Life is unfair.
Life is unfair. Wow. Amazing perspective. Any other moral?
Hi. We can tell nothing is perfect. Ups and downs are common.
Ups and downs are part of life. So you see, I gave you a moral as a storyteller, telling that Anger is an emotion and don't allow it to rule over you, or anger is your worst enemy. But if you see the creative answers that we got, the perceptions that people brought from the story, so messages can be derived and they can be perceived both. Now, when you get a moral of the story, what happens? The audience reflects. You can either inspire or influence as a storyteller. You have this power as the storyteller to change beliefs and behavior of your audience. And isn't that what we all Toastmasters wish to do? We want to change beliefs and behaviors. We want to send messages across the world. We want to inspire, influence. And that's what a great storyteller does through the moral of his story. Now, if there's a beautiful Toastmaster speech by Mark Brown, A Second Chance, where he says you never get, you should give a second chance to people. You never get a time to, make a second impression or something. So it's a beautiful speech, which all of you should see. And he has all these 8 elements of storytelling brilliantly incorporated. It's called The Second Chance. I would really want all of you to use this, go and watch this speech. So the moral of the story helps you to change beliefs and behavior of your audience. Morals could be anything. It could be gratitude, respect, patience, hard work, compassion, whatever comes to your mind. But a strong moral or a strong message or a universal message is great for an audience to remember your story. And now comes an important element called the plot in the story. When I spoke about the climax and the falling action and the resolution, it's actually a part of the plot. Now, what is a plot? For example, when you deliver a speech, you sometimes carry cue cards or maybe you have bullet points, isn't it? So the bullet points of a story are basically a plot. It's a series of events that are happening in the story. So in this story, the first scene that I created or I set the context of the story is the exposition. We went to the rising action. The story started moving high, where there was a conflict between Genelia and David. It reached the climax when he was at his highest rage, telling, I'm going to kill her.
Preeti, I'm sorry if I may interrupt. Can you explain what do you mean by exposition? This is Joseph here, sorry.
So Joseph, exposition is nothing but the start of your story.
Got it.
How do you introduce your story to the audience?
Got it.
So I introduced the story to all of you by giving you a setting of Manhattan, telling you that it was a busy street, because I was taking you inside the story where I wanted you to think that yes, David wanted to reach the office fast. He was struggling in the traffic. He reached the office. He wanted to go to his girlfriend and he wanted to plan things. So when I set the story in the start, I'm actually trying to have my audience connected throughout the story.
Got it.
So the setting or the start of the story is your exposition.
Thank you.
And then the story moves high and then reaches the peak, that is a climax. And from there, the story starts moving down, the falling action, and the resolution. So that's the plot of the story. So for example, if you're actually delivering a story and someone asks you what's the plot of your story, then you have to just say about the bullet points of your story and give the end. That's the plot. To show it to you more better, this is the graph. So start with the exposition, go to the climax, and come back to the resolution. Now this was something when I was practicing these 8 elements of storytelling, I always found it very difficult to actually remember these. So if all of you have a paper and a pen, do this with me. Trust me, because the moment, this is my belief, when you use a paper and a pen, things stay in your mind for longer. So take a paper and a pen, put your palm upside down on the paper and draw your hand. If you're doing it in maybe the next 10 or 15 seconds, I would love to see the picture of the hand that you've drawn. And trust me, if it's really creative and nice, I'm going to ask Pranav who it was and then send a book across to you as a gift. So can you draw a picture of your hand on a paper? I'll give you 10 seconds, 15 seconds maybe. Next, go ahead and on the thumb, write setting beside the thumb. Move ahead and on, tell me which is the next finger beside the thumb. Let me check whether you know your school studies. Which is the finger beside the thumb?
Index finger.
Index finger, great. So on the index finger, you write character. Just beside the index finger, write the character. Which is the third finger?
Middle finger.
Great. There are no women in the room today, no girls. I can hear only husky voices from all the men. Where are the girls? There's
I'm
no
here.
girls
I'm
out.
here.
Great, great, great. It's nice to hear someone. So the third one is vividity. Now let the girls answer because I'm sure this is their favorite finger. Which is the fourth finger?
The ring finger.
Great. The ring finger has the conflict. And the fifth finger is the little finger.
Little finger.
And on the little finger, you write dialogue. So whenever you're thinking about the wonders or the ancient elements of storytelling, you hold your hand like this and you say, this is setting, this is character, this is vividity, this is conflict, and this is dialogue. You move forward and say, this is the resolution, the end of the story. You go down and say, this is the moral of the story. And the eighth one is the plot. So just to make it simple for all of you and to remember this, so the moment I would have forgotten it when I was thinking about all of them, I used to have my finger like this and think about all the 8 elements. So can someone, if they've drawn, show us on the screen what they've drawn? Oh, I can see all of you now, yes.
Preeti, I have a naughty question.
Yeah, let me have a look at the pictures first. Oh, Mr. Dhyalan. I'm so sorry if I've made a mistake. Oh, wow, that's such a nice drawing. Is there someone else? Pranav, did you draw or you were making notes? Great. Is there someone else? Someone's used sketch pens or... Thank you so much. Yes. Who's Joseph is asking me a naughty question?
Yeah, why did you choose the conflict as the most interesting finger for the ladies?
How long have you been a Toastmaster, Joseph?
2.5 months, 3 months?
Okay, Joseph. Because you speak about conflict, let me quickly share a little story with you. So this is a husband and wife who are traveling in a car. Maybe they've gone through a little bit of tussle in the morning, and the husband is extremely angry. And because you've spoken about women, Joseph, let me tell you, she was even more angry. But men, you see, sometimes just talk it off. So in the car, the husband saw a few pigs coming from the other end and tells his wife, ha, ha, look, your relatives. The female, after a second, said, yeah, my in-laws. So, Joseph,
My God.
this was just a joke.
Yeah.
But then I was just going in the order. And trust me, the ring finger is not the finger of conflict, but it's the finger of a lot of love. So you can always give in a message of love through the ring finger. Thank you, Joseph, for the naughty question. And thank you for being such a brilliant audience for drawing this hand for me. And this will surely help you remember the 8 wonders of building a great story. And now we will move ahead and have a little activity for all of you. I want all of you to watch this video. It's a little video of 1.5 to 2 minutes and just spot the 8 ancient elements or the wonders of storytelling. You just have to tell me which one was which element. So the story or the video starts now.
There is no audio if you're playing.
Ma'am, this is Nandish here. Yeah, there is no audio.
So even if there is no audio, trust me, the video has no conversation. So you can just go ahead and watch the video, yeah? I don't know, it could be a technical glitch, but that's fine. Please go ahead and watch the video again.
Yeah, sure.
So now, Pranav, you'll have to pick up people for me. So who can tell me what was this, which was the setting of the story? Pranav, is someone raising their hand and telling us what was the setting of the story?
Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline, what was the setting of the story?
It's a muddy pond, and people are trying to cross it. And I think the water is dirty. So the goal is to get to the other side.
Caroline, you started off so well.
Setting.
You spoke about the muddy pool, but see, what is the setting? The setting is you want to transport your audience to the sorry side. Look across for everything, the visual effects. Yeah, Caroline, you can retry.
Yeah, so the setting is a muddy pond. I believe it's a village. It's a village. Probably it's a village with bad infrastructure. People can't even fix those. It's like a massive pothole, compared to Bangalore where we are. I think it shows a lot of rural backwardness.
Preeti, Sandeep here.
Yeah, Sandeep.
Can I give a try?
Yes. Thank you, Caroline. That was such a wonderful try. Great. Yes, Sandeep, please go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the story of a village. There is a only path which leads to a college and a school. And in between, there is an overflowing of drainage. And in the first character, there is a kid or a boy going to the college. His aim is to go to college, doesn't matter how.
Sandeep, I would stop you here. Stop you, sir. Awesome. I just wanted the setting. So setting is how you're describing that particular place. So thanks. You described the setting quite well. The other part I will come to you later. So the first element was the setting which Caroline and Sandeep tried out very well. Who would like to try the character description? See, try to describe the character. Yeah.
Joseph. Yeah,
Yes.
so when you're talking about character description, you're talking about the first person who walks by, he comes across this muddy pool and he Jess decides to wade through the water, in spite of the fact that he's wearing a white shirt and a beige pant. The second, he in fact folds his pant though, just to ensure that he doesn't get muddied. The second person comes by, but because I think he's wearing a jeans, he is not very much bothered. So he just wades through the water. And the third person, that's the school kid, decides that he just does not want to get wet. So he goes and becomes creative. He picks up the stones, throws them across the water so that he can tiptoe across the water and still be scot-free and dry. The uh, description of the character would be from the perspective that the first person was, and if you look at it, the entire video started by the word saying life with an emoji showing smile. So it's like you're looking at an issue in life and you're looking at three different approaches towards life.
Thank you, Joseph. I'm so sorry. I'm stopping you here.
Yeah.
So sorry. So yes, the character description by Joseph was great. Yeah. Yes. Raju, yes, you can go ahead. See what I want you to do. Just
Dear
one
ladies
thing.
and gentlemen, your
Yeah.
attention please. We are testing the fire alarm system. Please do not.
Okay. So when I talk about the character description or about the setting, for the next element, I want you to become a storyteller. It's as if you are narrating the story and you're adding life to the character. For example, if it would have been the character, you talk about his shirt, you talk about his shoes, what he's thinking. You remember I told you talk about his attitude, his physical appearance, what are his thoughts. That's the character. So let's move to the third element. Who can spot the vividity? Someone quickly in around just 2 or 3 lines, tell me the vividity in the setting of this in the story.
Hi, my name is Aman. I would want to say what I've observed. Could I give it a try?
Please, Aman, try. I would be so glad. Yes, go ahead. You're too good
Yeah,
in it. Do it.
the setting was somewhere in the small village and all. There was a pond and all muddy lakes with overflowing. The vividity is about the nature, the setting, if that would be.
You don't tell me the vividity would be. You go ahead and tell me what you're seeing in the vividity. Are you seeing bricks? Are you seeing water? What else are you seeing?
Yeah,
Vivid descriptions.
I'm seeing about the nature, water, breaks, and schools, uh, village life. That's it.
Great. Thank you, Aman. Who can
I
share?
would,
Yeah,
yes,
Nandish. Yeah,
sorry,
Nandish.
ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to add to the vividity, like the water is so contaminated, like you can literally see the reflection of the sky
Go
or
ahead. You're doing
something.
very well.
Yeah.
Very well, Nandish. Go ahead.
Yes. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add for the vividity.
Great. So, vividity is giving a visual description or adding every element that you can see and dramatize is
Yeah.
vividity. Now, who can give me the conflict in the story? What was the conflict? Now, there isn't, just think about the story, your perspective. What could be an internal conflict and what was the external conflict? Someone else who's not come
Can I
on
try?
screen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Jalan, yeah.
Yeah, the elders doesn't bother, and they go as such, whatever with the drainage on the spilled on the road. However, the young student who thought and he found a way to cross.
What is the conflict? What is the conflict? What is the challenge? What is the challenge in the story? Go
The
ahead, tell
conflict
me.
Water is on land and they need to cross.
Yes. The conflict, the external conflict, all of you got it, but then you just went ahead to add a little more. So the conflict is actually that there is a block of water there, and to cross and go on the other side is the conflict. Come on, let us try a creative thing. What do you think was the internal conflict in the mind of the boy? Anjana, I can see you. Anjana, do you want to try? Yeah.
The internal conflict for the boy would be is he didn't want to cross the muddy pool and dirty his shoes or his uniform. So he wanted to find an innovative way to kind of avoid that scenario and then cross.
This innovative way, Anjana, I will come back to you again. But then, yes, the conflict, the internal conflict maybe in the boy's mind was, I don't want to cross this and dirty my pant. So what do I do? So that's the challenge internally that he's thinking about. Or it could also be something else, which will come in the end. What do you think was the resolution in the story? The resolution, the end of the story, not the moral. What was the end of the story? A simple end. Anyone can try. Vinod, Praveen.
Placing the brick and crossing.
Pardon?
Building a bridge made of bricks.
What was the resolution? What was the end of this story? The end of this.
Everyone crossed to the other side.
Great. End of the story was that the boy put the bricks and reached the other side. Because according to us, the boy is the hero in the story and he's reached the other side is the end, the resolution of the story. What could be the moral of the story? Anjan, I want to hear it from you because you just mentioned something. What could be the moral? Come on, I will wait for 3 morals of the story because morals can be given by the speaker or the storyteller or it can be perceived. So what was Anjana's moral?
Out of the 3 characters, 2 characters were oblivious to the external situation, and they just kind of walked through the muddy puddle. But then the boy had the presence of mind to understand how to work with the current scenario or work around the situation and find a solution and get over to the other side.
So very well done, Anjana. If I have to put it in the words that you put across earlier was, every problem can be resolved creatively, isn't it?
Yeah.
What could be another moral? One last moral I'll take because I don't want to miss on my time. Yeah.
Can I go? Can I go?
Yes, Carol.
So everyone is focused on the boy. We are all thinking that he's the smart one, which is true. But the story does not just end with the boy. The boy is also offering solutions for the future crossers and passers-by.
Wonderful.
So I think that is the real solution because the boy was thinking beyond his own need.
Yes. So the moral of the story would be, at times, go beyond your own need and think of the world around you also. Isn't that a strong moral? Anyone else would like to try the last one?
Shall I?
Pranav. Yes, Valan, tell me. Francis.
Yeah. See every challenge as a step for your success.
Wow. Awesome. A huge round of applause to all of you who tried. So these are the elements of storytelling. So whenever you watch a movie, I will give you a very good exercise today. Whenever you watch a movie, whether it's 𝗏𝗍𝗵, whether it's a ghost movie, please go across and see, you will find all the 8 elements of storytelling. If you go to Sholay, when Gabbar says, Basanti in kutto ke, no, I mean, the hero says, sorry, Basanti in kutto ke samne mat nachna. And the Samba is with the whip. And Basanti says, Basanti nachegi. Now, isn't that such an awesome dialogue? So whenever you go for the next movie, have your finger with you like this and find out all the 8 elements of storytelling. And then as you deliver your speeches, you will be able to put in these 8 elements of storytelling in your speech. So now I will move on quickly because we have very little time. What I will do now is, we are going to ask you to create your own story. I want Pranav to pick someone quickly. So I'm going to show you 4 pictures. After you look at the picture, you select one. And in 1 to 2 minutes, you tell a story. Now the story is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You can get a ghost, you can get a hero, you can get a husband and wife, you can get toastmasters, you can get objects as characters. Let me tell you, even tables and chairs are characters. Create a setting, give it dialogue. I will give you 2 minutes to deliver your story. Select one picture out of the 4 pictures and you can go ahead and deliver your story. Pranav, are you in?
Yes.
Yes, Pranav. So you'll have to just go and pick up from the audience. Just try to pick up someone who's not tried. So the first picture in this activity is here. Look at the picture for a couple of seconds. Try to see if you can make a story out of it with a proper start, ending, resolution, dialogue, but a quick narration. We will not work on delivery skills. That's for some other workshop, some other day. This is picture 1. I move to picture 2. This is picture 3. See, you can do anything in your story. You are the storyteller. You can do whatever you want. This is 4. I'll show them to you once again. This is picture 1, picture 2, third one, and now the fourth one. Take around 30 seconds to think about the story. Have all the 8 elements in the story. Give a nice message to the audience. And let me tell you, in 2 minutes, you can deliver a wonderful story if you have these 8 elements of storytelling. If someone's ready, Pranav, you can choose them. You can spotlight them if you wish to.
Sure.
I'll again show you the pictures quickly. Picture 1, picture 2, 3, and 4. Yes. Is there anyone who wishes to go, Pranav?
No one has raised the hands.
Then Pranav, you will have to tell the story.
We'll give them a couple of seconds.
Yes,
There are-
yes, yes. Let them think about it.
May I
Yeah.
try?
We have one. Manikyam, Dayalan.
Can I start?
Preeti, we have one.
Yes. Please go ahead. Who's it?
Yeah, it's Manikam.
Yes. So before you go ahead, tell us which picture you chose and try to very mindfully incorporate all the 8 elements, and please just tell us the story like a storyteller. Be very bindas and go ahead and tell whatever you want. The timer, please show him 1, 1.5, and 2 minutes the cards. Pranav can just raise his hand. Yes. Go ahead. All the best.
I'm taking that volcano picture.
Yes. This one. Right?
Yes, yes,
Great.
active volcano.
Great.
Okay, may I start?
Please start. All the best. Do you
Thank
want to
you.
spotlight him, Pranav? Or he can go ahead like this?
Yeah, I've already spotlighted him.
Great. All the best.
I was in my school. My teacher, history teacher, was teaching the history, geography about the world. And she was explaining about the volcanoes and the active volcanoes. I did not know what is volcano and how active volcano it looked like. Then the days went and I moved to a job and I was traveling around the world. Then when I reached in South America, I heard there are places where the active volcanoes will be throwing lava like a fire. So it was the time when I take a break and travel, and physically I was able to see what active volcano was. Then the my school days come into the picture in presence in me, and how this active volcano is. Then later I have realized, so this is one of the earth's nature, and it is wonder that everyone should have experienced it. Even I used to think how this is possible, the fire coming out from the earth. So I don't have any answer, but I stand in front of the volcano and watch these beautiful sceneries. Thank you so very much.
Let's have a huge round of applause for our speaker. Very, very well tried. If just one thing, if you want to incorporate a message for the audience, what can it be?
Stay curious, stay in present, and you will realize what you want.
Wonderful. Or it can also be childhood dreams can come true.
Childhood dreams can come true. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So awesome. Very well tried. I'm so glad your smile shows that, yes, I did it well. Someone else want to try some other picture? Quick.
So Leon De Silva.
Leon, which picture have you selected?
Picture number 1.
So this one?
Yes.
Great. All the best. Go ahead. Try to incorporate the 8 elements of storytelling. And you're an amazing storyteller. I'm telling you that. So please move. Yes.
Thank you. You know, in our lives, if you notice, we have different types of fishes. Some are small, and some are big, and some are in the medium size. I wonder which one are you in? Mostly, they say you can trouble the small fish, but you can't trouble the bigger one. Wonder why? I think this picture tells it all about why. Because they can eat you up. The big fish can eat you up easily, and the smaller ones can't do anything but just get gobbled up unless they are poisonous. Of course, that's a different story for another day. Right now, I'll tell you a movie in where sharks are actually portrayed in a very ferocious manner, especially in the movies. This one was about, I'm speaking about his jaw. The one it showed me was, oh my God, I got really scared of sharks. Till one day, I actually had to go on a yacht and go in the ocean. And I saw some kind of pointed fins moving around. And I wondered what it was. My tour guide told me, saying that they were sharks. They're actually quite friendly in nature. I tried to put my hand down, but he said, don't do that. If you get a wound, that's the history of you. So don't play with big sharks, is my message to you.
What an awesome speech. I was feeling that I'm actually sitting with you on a coffee table and you're describing it to me. Thank you so much. So do we have time to pick up another storyteller, or we'll move ahead, Pranav?
We have one more. Caroline.
Sandeep here.
Yeah, Pranav, you have to choose.
So Caroline was the one who raised third.
Okay. Go ahead, Caroline. I wish we had Leon on screen. I can just see his image. What if I could see his fingers and hands and gestures? Yes, Leon. Oh, you're you're all set for a
The
storytelling
camera is not so
program.
good. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. We can see you so well. Yeah, great. Okay,
Thank
Caroline,
you.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, Leon.
So within 30 seconds, I just used, okay. The setting is an ancient cave.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
The setting is an ancient cave. The name of my character is Indiana Jones. To present the vividity, the cave is abandoned, and it's not, not many people know about it. And the conflict is that Indiana Jones is on a treasure hunt, and he finally finds the treasure. And the dialogue is, "I finally got it." The moral of the story is, if you try hard, you can do anything.
Wow, that was a master class. You chose the elements and also you described all the elements to us. So anything else that Caroline you want to add? You were adding something?
No, I think this session is really creative. It really stimulates our brains.
Thank you so much. Now, Caroline, I have a little homework for you. You told me about this story, telling us what was vividity or what was character, what was. Now, today, go ahead and, like a storyteller, go into the cave and talk about everything without without telling it's a setting or it's a. Don't give the bullet or the start point, and go ahead and deliver it like a story. And you'll see, once you use these 8 elements, you can go and use it in your speeches also. Thank you so much. Pranav, are we taking someone else or we move ahead?
Preeti.
Yeah.
Preeti.
Yeah, Leon. Yeah, Leon.
Just a small quick question. Okay, I wasn't
Yes.
there in the earlier session.
Yes, yes.
So mostly when I do storytelling, I get lost. People who are my audience, my feedback is they get lost in the characters because there are too many characters. And that
Okay.
happens because of our mind, it's not yet processed that information, what we are speaking. So I mean, yeah, you would tell me saying that slow down your mind and do it, but it's not that easy, So uh, how would you get minimum characteristics and keep that characters and keep the audience hooked to you still, with your story?
Great. Very good question, Leon. I will never tell you to calm your mind down or do that because that's a different exercise. But when you're telling a story, remember, first think about what the message of your story would be. If the message of your story is kindness, be kind to others, then you start writing your story, and everything that you write in the story has to lead to your final message, that is kindness. Description of the character, setting, vividity is very important, but the only thought that should be in your mind is it has to lead to my final message, kindness. So now what you do? You first write your first script. You check it's around maybe 500 words. You sit down the next day and start looking at the speech, and anything that is not related to your final message of kindness, please chop it off. Rewrite it, unwrite it, and then you will come to the final script of yours. So my answer to your question is, your final message should be there into your mind first. And anything that is not leading to the final message has to be cut off. It's not just in storytelling, Leon. Even in our Toastmaster speeches, when you deliver speeches, it's very important to remove anything that is not leading you to your central message. Take it off because it's not leading the audience anywhere. See, if you see a Google map, it gives you a proper way to go somewhere, isn't it? So any deviation takes your audience's mind away from your speech. So try to remove those unwanted things by scripting it, re-scripting it. Also, the best part could be your friends. When you deliver it to your friends for practice, ask them for feedback. And when they give you feedback, cut those characters off. Does that answer your question, Leon?
Perfectly. Straight to the
Thank you.
point.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Yes. So, Pranav, do we have time to take another picture or we'll end this particular part?
We have one more person, I think Sandeep Kulkarni. He
Yes.
was raising hand
Sandeep,
up.
you want to pick
Yeah,
up which
thanks, man.
picture?
The same one, the treasure hunter.
Okay, great. So we will have 2 perspectives of the same picture. And this takes me to one important statement that you can see something, but that something may be different for 2 people. What I see and I perceive may be different, but what you see and what you perceive may be different. So let's see what Sandeep has to tell us about the treasure hunt. Over to you, Sandeep.
Yeah, thank you. Deep in the misty jungle of South Africa, where ancient ruins were a mystery, David, a daring treasure hunter, known for his sharp wit and relentless curiosity, carrying a old map and an old compass. Caves feels alive, buzzing insects, echoing birds. David sees a legendary emerald idol. David walks away with something greater, not only the emerald, but the passion which he carries. The message is, it's not only the passion, it's the willingness to find maybe, something, chase your dreams is what the message I want to give.
Wonderful, Sandeep. Very, very, very well tried. Amazing description of the character, the settings, the cave, and his passion. Awesome. I think all our 4 storytellers are all ready to go and rock the stage. But still, my exercise for you is whenever you read a book, whenever you go for a movie, find out these 8 elements of storytelling and try to incorporate them in your speeches with stories. So thank you for being a brilliant audience for this session. And now I'll give you a quick scientific element of evidence of storytelling. Whenever you listen to a story, your cortisol, which is actually a stress hormone or attention hormone, gets active. The second hormone is your dopamine, something that you get when you eat your ice cream or when you look at Instagram. Even that hormone is activated. Your oxytocin, the love hormone or the hugging hormone, that comes into action. And a lot of other neurotransmitters get active when you're actually listening to a story. As a storyteller, what can you incorporate in your story so that these hormones are activated in your audience? So this is a scientific evidence of storytelling. If you have any story, your personal story from mythology, go ahead and tell the story, because the world needs storytellers, because everyone wants to listen to stories. So dear friends, before I go ahead and take your questions, remember what Steve Jobs said, one of my favorite speakers. Tell me, what did he say? The most important person in the world.
Stay hungry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Alan, tell
Stay
me.
hungry. Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Wonderful. Yes, he did say stay hungry, stay foolish. But he also said the most important person in the world is a storyteller. So remember, the world needs a lot of storytellers. So go ahead and share your stories. Now, I did one crazy thing. Someone who was so scared of the merry-go-round, never even sat on the normal slide in the school, had a bucket list of doing skydiving. I went up thousands of feet high in Dubai and did the skydiving and wrote about my story. If any one of you in the audience has a crazy story, please go ahead and scan this. That's my LinkedIn. And please send me your story. The best storyteller or the person who has the craziest story, I'm going to send you a book as a gift. And it's going to be a book on storytelling for sure. So go ahead, share all your crazy stories. I wish I get maximum DMs from this particular session. And I would love to share your stories, listen to your stories, visualize them. So send me your stories on LinkedIn, and I look forward to listening to your crazy stories. I will give you a time of maybe 5 days. And in the next 5 days, I will have a selection of the best storyteller or the craziest story ever. And I'm going to send you a book. And I'm going to surely write about your story on my page and the book that I've given to you. So thank you so much. You were a brilliant audience. I loved being here. I know there was a little glitch because I don't know why there was no sound in the video, the Murphy's Law. But then I hope I've shared the 8 elements of storytelling to all of you. Remember, they can be used in your speeches, in your real life conversations. You will see a huge difference in how the audience looks at you when you put all these ancient elements of storytelling in your speeches. I look forward to connecting with a lot of other things that I know with District 92 to all of you. Thank you so much, Pranav, for giving me this opportunity. And I hope all of you enjoyed this session. If you have
Sorry
any
to interrupt.
questions, I'm there.
The QR code is deactivated, not working. If you can share the link, that will be helpful.
So what I will do is, just a minute. I will share my link to Pranav, and Pranav, you can just put it on the chat box.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, do we have questions?
So thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Preeti Kothari. Now we are open for any questions. Meanwhile, I'll share the link with you guys. Do you have any questions? Please feel free.
I have a question. Today I learned a lot from my stories. Like you taught me many stuff, which is great. I would implement it in my upcoming speeches. My question would be, how do I make a story so that everyone gets connected? Because sometimes in speech, what I made a mistake was keeping so many stories, so it made the audience lost.
So your question is, how many stories do you incorporate in a speech? Is that the question?
No. How do I keep a one story and not make many? Because when I made many stories, I made the audience lost once.
Who's asked this question?
Aman.
Aman.
Yeah.
See, Aman, the audience won't get lost because there are too many stories. If you notice, Steve Jobs, in one of his keynotes, used 3 stories. And that's one of my favorite keynotes. It's a commencement address that he goes to his college and he's delivered. So he's used 3 stories, but all the stories gave a very good moral or a final message. So, Aman, when does your audience get lost? It's when you're putting in things that are deviating again from your main message or is not interesting enough. So do not incorporate too many stories. For example, if it's a 7-minute speech, I would suggest have 1 story, or if you want to incorporate, then 2 short stories. If it's a 15-minute keynote, then maybe 2 stories, some statistics. And remember, whatever is your speech, 3 major elements: ethos, pathos, and logos. Your credibility, what your authenticity or your genuineness on stage has to be portrayed when you deliver a talk. Pathos, how you deliver it. And logos, is there a statistics to back it? So if you have these elements in place, and the thought of writing, unwriting, rewriting your speech and taking feedback, Naman, I'm telling you, you will not have an audience who will get lost or not listen to your speech. Also, there are a lot of other elements, a lot of delivery skills, a lot of things on how to write a story or a script that will help you. So if you go ahead and finish your pathways, maybe in the 3rd level, you will already start writing better speeches or audience engaging speeches, is what I would say. I hope that answers your question, Aman.
Thank you very much. Yes, it does.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello, Preeti. Shall I go
Yes,
ahead?
please go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Balan.
Yeah, tell me,
I
Balan.
want to know, is it okay to give a speech by starting with a quote, or just if we go with the procedures, these 8 steps, what you suggested will be enough? Because many of the speeches, what I hear in Toastmasters is they give a quote and they try to connect with the quote for some stories. Maybe yeah, stories, many stories. Yeah, if we had more than 3 stories, definitely even 3 stories, it is very challenging to connect to the quote. Basically, my question is, do we need a quote, or is it okay to go without it? Because today's session we just missed that, I guess.
Okay. So thank you for the question. Today's session was not on how to write a speech. How to write a speech is a complete different ball game. Today's session was what are the important elements of storytelling. But let me come to your question. Your question is very simple. Can I start with a quote? So this is my answer to all of you. The opening of your story or a speech has to be a hook. Because in the first 7 seconds, your audience is already deciding whether it has to listen to you or not. So whatever kind of hook you can create, is it an alarming statistics, gold rates booming to 1,50,000? Could be an opening. It could also be an opening with a story that you want to start with. I was in school. and something that happened to me is what I wish to share. Now that's a hook. So whatever hook you wish to decide, whether it's a quote, whatever quote you have, you start with that quote, but it has to be a hook. And the hook, whenever you start your story or speech, it has to lead the audience into something. You understand? It has to be a connection. It's a loop that is taking them to the end. So whatever you start has to lead them into the story. So I'll leave the start or the opening to you, but remember it has to be an attention-grabbing start where the audience gets hooked to your speech in the first 7 seconds. Thank you for that question. I also see Irfanji, he has a question. Yes, any more questions, Pranav?
Preeti, Sandeep here.
Yeah, Sandeep.
I just need some suggestions from you on how to end the speech or the storytelling effectively. Because you could see in my story, I started it in a decent manner, but I was finding it really difficult on how to end it.
Okay. I personally am a believer of, okay, let me put it like this. Your story can have a happy ending. It can also have a sad ending. But what I believe in is, can your story have a meaningful ending? Because I have believed that what you last with your audience. Again put it, what you last with lasts with your audience. So when the audience is going out of the room, does it have something to take away with them? Was there something that Sandeep did in his life which even I can do? In the story today, when I told about David and I put this emotion across saying that anger doesn't need a weapon to kill. It's just one moment of control lost. The audience thinks, yes, I have to give up on anger. So any end that you feel is meaningful is a good ending. But then your story can always have a happy ending. They lived happily ever after. Or it could be like a series where you would say, yes, part 2 is coming. I mean, the choice is yours. You can be creative. But see that it is something for the audience to take away. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for the question. Anything else?
Go with the one last question from Irfan.
Yes. Yes, Irfanji, again.
First of all, thank you very much. My question, before my question, I just want to congratulate you. What a beautiful vibes you guys, amazing. It's the last, that you were showing picture, Preeti. I was there and I'm feeling very depressed. I have missed your wonderful session. I just want to request you, please share your 8, rule or whatever strategy you have for the tall tale or storytelling. It was very amazing. Be honest with you, this is one of the best education session which I have attended in my life. And thank you so much, Matt, to share with me. My question is very simple. Sometimes we are, starting our speech with once upon a time when I was a little kid, or just tell us about the opening of the story, different kinds of the opening in your perspective.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Irfan, for it's just a follow-up question with what went back. I would just say that today's attention span of the audience is very less. So the audience in the first 10 seconds will decide whether they have to listen to you or not. So if you want to, when I am telling a story, usually, if it's just a story, then I usually start with the setting of the place. Because I want to transport my audience to that particular place. For example, if it's a setting of Cinderella's story, maybe. So I would start off, the girl has lost her mother, but the world had to give her more. A stepmother. She wipes the floor of her room, she cleans clothes, she washes utensils. At the end of a tiring day, she goes to sleep and sometimes hungry. Dear friends, this is my story today. So I started off with the setting or the character description of the girl. You can also start with a quote. For example, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. Dear friends, I've seen a lot of Toastmasters join Toastmasters when they're 18 and 20. And I kept asking myself, why? Why am I so late? But then trust me, the amount of speeches, the amount of learning that you will have in this platform tells you that nothing is late in life. Step on the field and do it like how I did. So you start with a quote or anything that you feel that can be a hook. It could be a setting, it could be a quote, it could be any statistics and alarming statistics. Like I just said, that silver booms to 3 lakh rupees. So you start and the audience say, oh, is it? What's coming next? So start with any opening that hooks your audience to it. Pranav, we have 2 more questions. We'll quickly take that. We have Nitin and Seema. Should we take the questions? Because I see the hands up, so I don't want to go without answering.
Let's make it quick because
Yes,
we're all
yes, quick. Yes, yes. Yeah. Who's coming?
I can.
Who's this? Nitin?
Yeah, this is Nitin. Hi, Preeti.
Hi, Nitin. Tell me.
I just have a very quick question. So usually when we end a message, end our speech, and as you also mentioned earlier, if it is great to have a message, but then how to portray that message is my question. As an Indian, we are not a native English speaker, so usually what we say is what we have to do, and there is another way that what you have to do, you as in the audience. So how should we finish that message? Should we say, we do this, or should I say to the audience that you should do this? How should I end it? I hope I made sense.
It's a brilliant question. I'm loving it. So your first line was you should do it, and what was the second one?
So usually how we say it, right? We say it collectively, including the audience. So
yes.
We should do it, and we use the word we in it. But then other ways that we are talking to the audience. So should we say you should do it? And because in my story, I have already learned from my story. I have already done those changes in my life. So I'm confused there. Should I use we there, or should I, because I want to sound polite. And I'm also, if I say you, I might sound, I don't know, rude in that, because I'm giving, some guidance to the audience. So I'm not sure what should I use, we or you.
You've already given your answer is already there in your question. So if you ask me, I usually do not say you should do it. I also do not say we should do it. But I tell the story in a manner that the audience feel that I should do it. So if you see today's story, did I tell that anger is your worst enemy? Dear District 92, please do not get angry. Or you should not get angry, or you should not get angry. I didn't use any of these. What I told them was, through the 8 elements of storytelling, I actually made them reflect, made them think. Remember, what is a narrative? A narrative is just a series of maybe experiences or something that you're sharing. But a story is something that adds meaning to the audience's life. So when you tell a story, see that the audience, also I told you that messages can either be perceived by the audience or you can give them the message. So at times leave the message for the audience. Now trust me, when you watch this movie 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗁, I mean, one of my favorite movies. So in the end, the movie never tells you a message or a lesson or anything. But when you come out of the show, you already have so many messages in your mind. Could be any. If it's a love story, you'll have some hormone that is giving you some message. If it's a mythological story, then there's something else. Never does the director tell you that you should do it. You move out of the movie screen and you're thinking, what did I do? Was I really scared? Should I have forgotten fear and done it anyway? So that's what a storyteller does. He tells you his experience, does not sermonize, does not tell you to do anything, but makes the narrative or the delivery in that manner that you yourself go into his shoes and think that, yes, I can do it or I cannot do it. So I would never say sermonize or tell we should do it, I should do it. Make the audience reflect. and let them take the message on their own. I hope that answers. Yes, Seema, one last question and we'll end.
So this is not Seema, this is Sunil.
Hi, Sunil. Yeah. Oh, hi, Sunil. Oh, when it's Seema and Sunil, I know which Sunil it is.
Hi, Preeti. Wonderful session. Yes, Sunil, go ahead.
Okay, so
Thank you. Thank
I
you,
just
Sunil.
got the fag end of the session. Okay, so yeah, just I'm always a little confused about using mythology or other stories vis-a-vis our personal experiences, because somehow I feel whatever be your interpretation about that or whatever, there's always that authenticity question that comes up, isn't it? And then they could always listen elsewhere. There could be always some other place. My story is my story. You'd only hear it from me. Everything else is they can always, the audience can hear it from somewhere else. So how do you bridge that? I mean, that's something I really struggle. How do you bridge that gap where should I really use it, and does it really make sense to use some of the story? I'm not sure.
But Sunil, my answer to your question is, because I know you very well, what if I want to hear the mythological story only from you? Then you have to tell it, isn't it? I mean, I would hear it from multiple people, but I want to hear it from Sunil the Great. So I will hear it from you. But that's what's on the lighter side. See, Sunil, what I personally feel is personal stories are the most authentic and genuine, because people feel that, yes, this is the story that she lived. That is her experience. And that's why you sound very genuine and authentic on stage. But trust me, I've had a lot of students or peers across who come and tell me, I don't have any story in my life. My life is so boring. I don't really have a lot of stories. And maybe they're not observing or trying to make stories out of their experiences. So until they get a little comfortable expressing their vulnerability to us or expressing them on stage, they can always pick up stories from elsewhere. Now, what do I do? What I usually do is I will have my personal story, but to back my personal story up, I would usually use a story either from mythology, it could be an animal tale, could be Jataka tales, anything. But then I usually use that as a backup to my story for the audience to think that, yes, it happened in her life. It also happened in mythology. And if this was a common solution for both of them, then it can be a solution for me also. So it's not my suggestion, but I would say that this is what I do. So you can also try doing it. But yes, because you, I'm very sure, have a big story bank of experiences. I would always love to listen to your personal stories, Sunil. And also your stories from Seema. I hope that answers.
Yeah. So you're saying you
Thank
add
you.
the story more for credibility also. That's what I could understand from that perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, personal
Thank you.
stories are the best, but then you can always use examples from history, from ancient times, from books written by authors to actually state a point. See, every story has to state a point is very important. It has to move the audience. It has to inspire the audience. That's very important. Personal or is a choice of the speaker. Yes, District
Thanks a lot,
92.
Preeti. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. District 92, I'm so glad I did this session for all of you today. I can see Pranav smiling. So thank you. I think, Pranav, I did a good job. So I wish all of you incorporate these elements in your stories and you do very, very well in your speaking journey. I look forward to having your stories on my LinkedIn. I will share the link now. And yes, if you have any other questions, you can DM me on my WhatsApp or my email. My number, Pranav, if you can just put it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. First of all, let me thank you everyone who has joined us on live and made this session truly impactful. To our speaker for today, distinguished Toastmaster Preeti Kothari, thank you so much for delivering such an engaging and insightful session. Your clarity on breaking down each element's character, conflicts, emotion, and message, it really brought out storytelling into a powerful and practical way. We are grateful for your time, expertise, and generosity in sharing your knowledge with our community. To wonderful audience, thank you so much for showing up with incredible energy and curiosity, active participation, thoughtful questions. Definitely, that's the reason we are over time. Your engagement proves that learning is most powerful when it's shared, right? So this session was again a reminder that when structure meets authenticity, stories have power to inspire action, and create lasting impressions. Let's stay tuned for more learning experience, and until then, keep crafting stories that master with a lot of love from the PQD's office. See you in the next masterclass session. I have shared the LinkedIn account of DTM Preeti here in the chat. You guys can go click, send in a request, share the stories, stay connected. If you guys want her personal number, please do reach out. We will definitely share that with you as well. Please do follow her in her social media handles as well. Until we meet next time, thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe, stay happy. Thank you. Great, good day, good night. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. A quick last message. Dear friends, let's impact more lives so we have more stories. Let's go ahead spreading universal values of love, compassion, empathy, and we'll have more stories. And most importantly, do not forget to have a story file. Because you all forget, have a story file with all your stories in it. How do you maintain it? I will surely share it with you some other day. Good night, and I had a brilliant